mean, we can preempt what will happen next week, and we won't be live next week, but we will be on at some point. We can preempt what everyone will be discussing at around 6 o'clock on Saturday night, which will be there's no one at the grand final. Now,
Catalans bring no away.
They've chartered their 4th plane today.
Foreigners are bad.
I've seen plenty of adverts on.
Yeah,
they've
got
Instagram,
they've got buses
everything.
coming. 3-day trips from Perpignan.
Now I know before the Magic Week, well after the Magic Weekend, I said.
I don't going to get no fuel when I get in.
Yeah, they can't get back. The good news is you're coming to the grand final.
Or buy any
the bad
food.
news is you're staying here for quite a while.
Pretty will sort them out. Should get them out of the country. It'll be all right.
Could you bring some tanker drivers? Drop them off.
I said after the Magic Weekend, when people criticised the marketing for the Magic Weekend, it was in that position where we still didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, we still don't, do we? You know, but it's been on the cards that this grand final is going to happen. There's been a chance that Catalans will be there. But irrespective of that, why haven't we made the grand final one of our 2 showpiece events of the year? Yes, we've got the Chinese Grand Final, we've got this.
3. Magic Weekend.
Magic Weekend, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing I don't understand. Like, there's only...
Where's the
obviously everyone has a club that they support, or most people. If you follow a club, if you follow Batley or you follow Warrington, you still might go and see England play. You still might go, obviously, whenever they do play, once every 4 years, but that's a different point. But to Wembley, you'll go to a grand final.
That's Australia.
Yeah, that's they're events. They're big events.
I just think as well that you're right. It's there has to be buy-in, but you've actually got everyone's second favourite team now being there with the Dragons. You've got somebody you can support as a neutral. So again, season ticket holder of any Super League club can go to the grand final and get a Dragons flag for 15 quid. I don't think you should necessarily cheapen those people who bought tickets for the event, but I think you have to have a minimum amount of people there, and you've got to find a way to appeal. They're an eminently supportable club as a neutral because of the way they play and what they've achieved. 2
massive storylines. If they win, first French team, the first foreign team to win Super League. If St Helens win, it's a 3-peat.
Yeah,
it's only been done once before in Super League.
But you would be with St Helens. But we may have even said this last week. With St Helens' permission and collusion in all of this, you would have allowed the Super League to start almost appealing to the Wigan and the Warrington and the fan, the direct rivals of St Helens, and say, look, we want you to be there to, get in the Catalan end. You don't want St Helens to be 3 times winners. We haven't done any of that.
Well, I did ask Arthur Maud about getting the support from the rest, but he said he just concentrates on what's on the pitch. So it's good to see.
Did you ask him in French?
No.
So as he's practicing those high balls,
and,
catching them. I mean,
as Andrew has asked, and this, right, I'm not comparing the Super League Grand Final to the Super Bowl, right? Because that would be ridiculous. However,
I'd love to see Barry McDermott's exposed nipple. Half-time show.
Sure,
not really.
If you ask him nicely, I don't know.
I don't think you need to worry about that.
Good.
I think
facetious.
you would.
But 4 weeks into the NFL season, they've announced who the Super Bowl halftime show is. Why don't we announce at the start? I know this year.
We haven't announced yet.
I know this year.
I don't know. No. We've only just learned who the referee is.
I know again this year is a.
Maybe you could do both. Maybe you could sing a song.
John Kennedy.
I know again.
R.I.P. the singing referee.
This year is a strange one, but we could have still said at the start of the season, if everything goes to plan, here's your pre-match entertainment. You're not going to buy in from neutrals to go see, come watch a rugby league match, if there's nothing else attached to it, and there is nothing attached to this grand final, and there hasn't been since grand final 1. We don't sell it. It should be sold as an event that people want to go to see. It would also be nice if it was not a one-off game, but I know there are logistics obviously with Manchester United and their pitch and whatever, but to have the women's game.
I'm not sure about the women's. I think the women's game should be on the front. Again, going back to this rolling, what would you have to make grand final week really special?
I mean, obviously the £1 million game.
Man of Steel on the Monday, £1 million game on the Thursday night, and I know it's part-time teams and it'd be short notice, but for the £1 million game, you
calling sick
Thursday night. So you imagine Toulouse Featherstone on Thursday night.
If it's on Premier Sport, the bosses won't see it.
Women's grand final on Friday night as a standalone event.
Yeah.
Which again, if it was at Headingley, you've got a ground in Toulouse and maybe 10,000 people in on the Thursday night. You've got Headingley on a Friday night under lights, which is a pretty good experience. And then you've got leading up to the grand final. I'm sure you could find an undercard game if you wanted to, but I think you're right. It's more about the grand final experience, possibly, or whatever it might be. But make it the last game of the season is potentially the biggest game of the season in terms of attendance and venue. So if you were to get 70,000 on a regular basis at Old Trafford, that should be the full stop.
The thing also with the Super League Grand Final, and I know obviously Sky want exclusivity, if I can say it, and it may take some money out of the TV deal, but the Grand Final has to be on free-to-air live. It has to be either on BBC or ITV. I mean, if we do want to spread the word, that is the showpiece event of the whole
Or even
year.
you could have it on at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think you've got to have it live on Sky and live.
The Fox Sport replay the grand final after Channel 9 have had it? Because they've got the exclusive rights.
Previously, generally they have every game, on at the same time. But yeah, I think it's got to be available to all. And you look at the drama of last season's grand final. I think neutrals who watched that were amazed at the finish.
Well, just get Tony Bellew on the commentary team. He looked quite excited. But no, the whole of the build-up should be, celebrity endorsement, the retiring players going out and being, feted in front of the crowd live.
Except Tyrone McCarthy, apparently doesn't exist.
Must be playing on.
I mean, that is a strange one, isn't it? How do they choose who is involved in that video and who isn't? Because there's some people in that video who
have already retired 2 years ago.
Or have had very checkered past.
Or been playing in the championship.
Like you think...
Well, they had James...
They didn't put Ben Flower punching Lance Ohio in which is his only thing that he's done in rugby league.
But they had James Maloney, who was playing on for Leicester.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He's not actually retiring. What...
Are we pretending like the French non-Super League
So the French Elite One is the same as Super League is the Australian.
It's essentially what the NRL do. It's like Joel Thompson from Manly retiring.
Yeah.
He's going to St Helens.
Yeah.
Now he's actually retiring, but yeah, it's a bit nonsense.
But make an event of it. Have times in the afternoon where you're going to do
those players. The ones actually retiring from Super League teams playing this year, not Wella Haraki, Tyrone McCarthy, and they should have a lap. People should be able to come and because they're players who've Michael Shetton, etc. Have made massive contributions to several clubs.
And you might even get some fans of the clubs they played for going to salute them.
Yeah.
As they formally retire.
It's a respect thing, isn't it, for the efforts that they've done.
So there's things you can do.
Yeah. I mean, Don Manfredi, very sad how his career, but he won a grand final at Old Trafford.
Deserves to be actually interviewed on the pitch at Old Trafford.
And applauded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to warm up, booing the referee in the warm-up. From a couple of years ago.
You can actually have more than one band if you want as well. If you're going to make a real celebration, Old Trafford is big enough to have that stage in the corner without affecting anything. To announce now that you've got, I don't know, someone who the older fraternity might recognise. Madness were great one year when they did the pre-match and said one of these newer singer-songwriter combos that some of us never heard of. Great.